welcome to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and today we're doing another Get Fit With Me series, yoga edition, and actually not quite yoga edition actually this time around. We are actually going to be reviewing someone who we reviewed before, and it is AriannaElizabeth. The videos I have reviewed of hers have been yoga videos in the past. But this time around, she actually, besides doing yoga, she does Pilates. And I have been very intimidated and very apprehensive of doing trying out Pilates because I've just never done it before. And I've always wanted to try it like at an actual Pilates studio. But she actually put on a routine on her YouTube channel that is only 19 minutes long and is express yoga, is express Pilates, full body, feel good practice. So I am finally at the point where I'm like, you know what? Let's give it a go. Let's see how it goes. I've never done Pilates before, so I am definitely not the expert of this. I would highly recommend going to her channel if you want to actually do the full routine. Yeah, but we're going to try it, see what it does. Y'all can critique me in the comments if you want. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So in this practice, we are going to start in the back of the mat, and we're going to be standing in the mountain pose, and we're going to then dive head down to a bending to forward bend, and we're going to be getting our body slowly warmed up. We're going to be doing that a couple of times. From there, we are then going to go back up to a mountain pose, and then with our hands above our head, we're going to then first stretch our side body on our right side by holding on to our left wrist and bending to the right. And then we're going to be doing the opposite, so doing the same thing on the other side as well to get a side bend on our left side. From there, we're going to then move to the middle of the mat and get wide, basically go into a wide stance to prepare for goddess pose. And once we do get in that position, we are going to do goddess pose. And with that, we're going to be doing a lot of pulsing. We're going to go up and down to get in and out of goddess pose. And then we're going to pulse towards the end. So it's kind of more of like a workout format versus yoga where we would just hold the poses and whatnot. So yeah. I forgot to mention, while in the goddess pose, we are then also moving side to side as well with our arms as well to kind of just work on our side body along with being in the goddess pose. So I'm not sure if I mentioned the intro or not, but this is going to be a full body practice. So this is why we're kind of incorporating a lot of things all at once here. From the goddess pose, we are then going to move into a wide-legged standing forward bend. So we're going to adjust our feet to be facing, to be more parallel versus more sideways like it was for the goddess pose. And then we're going to do that forward bend. And we're going to be holding on to that for a couple of breaths. And we're kind of using this as a form of like a resting pose in between doing the goddess poses before we move on to the next movement. From there, once we get out of the wide-legged standing forward bend, we then are going to make our way back to the back of the mat in a mountain pose. And then from there, from the mountain pose, we're going to make our way to a plank pose, to a downward facing dog, to a downward facing dog, back to a plank pose. And we're going to be going back and forth between being in a downward facing dog and plank pose. And after we do that for a little bit, then we are going to make our way back to the back of the mat in that mountain pose. Next, we're going to make our way to the middle of the mat, and then we're going to start with one of the legs being out a little bit, just touching like the top of our feet. And then from there, we're going to be then doing standing crunches with this, going with our hands up above above our head. And with this, we do have the option where you can have some small weights, like 5-pound weights, to do this. And so we're going to be doing this for quite a bit. And then from there, then we're going to be doing some side kicks. We're going to transition from the one to the other right away. So that leg, the one that you're using to stand on, which is should be slightly bent, that's actually going to be the leg that's getting a lot of the workout, because you're putting all your weight on that and you're doing all this movement. And then from there, we're going to then do the same thing on the other side. Next, we're going to make our way to the front of the mat, and when we are on the front of the mat, we then are going to then stand. We're going to be standing, and then we're going to be going from a lunge position back. So we're going to be going back and forth between standing, a mountain pose to a lunge position. We're going to start on one side, and we're doing this kind of like a sequence. And once we are going back and forth with that, after we do that for a little bit, then we are going to then stay in that lunge position and then pulse. So the legs are getting a huge workout with this practice. And we're going to be doing that same sequence or similar sequence on both sides. after we do the sequence of both sides, we then are going to kind of do a similar sequence again, but the difference is we're going to go into this lunge, but then from the lunge, then we're going to then twist to the side, kind of almost like in a reverse warrior 2 position, if you will, and then go back to the front of the mat. So it's going to be in the counts of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is how we're going to do that. We're going to be doing that on each side. So we'll do a little bit on one side and a little bit on the other side with this. So we're going to make our way back to the back of the mat. And once we're in the back of the mat, then we're going to be going to that plank position. Really very briefly to then just go into a mountain climbers. And with the mountain climbers, they're very slow and deliberate. So we're doing it on her count, which is much slower than what you would normally do a mountain climber, but very much appreciative because we are making sure when we do the movement, both parts of the movement, it's not going off of momentum, it's going off of you really doing the movement from like up to down on it. After we do that, we are then going to go into a child's pose, resting pose and it's not going to be extended, just a regular child's pose. And then when we're doing that, we're going to make sure our arms are close to our feet with our hands facing up. So releasing, so basically being present and all that good stuff, and also letting good energy, good vibes in. And then from there, we then are going to go into a tabletop position. And with that tabletop position, we are then going to hover. But with that hover, we're going to then have first one of our legs, and I believe we started with the right leg, either one, it doesn't really matter, up. So we're going to have it where we go from hover position to the leg up, hover position to the leg up. So really focusing on working on our lower abs. And then we're going to be doing the same thing on the other side. But I believe in between it, we then will be going into child's pose very briefly. And then after that, then we are going to, I believe, go back into that child's pose again. after doing that child's pose again, then we are going to go back to that tables out position, but then we're going to kind of do a variation of where we have first, we're going to do it on each side, of course, where we kind of are in like a gated pose, but we're not doing it as a pose. We're going to kind of use it where we rotate our leg in that position. So we're going to go from the leg being to the side, to the back, kind of like how it was with the hovering position, only this time we're not hovering. And then we're going to have it then with our leg kind of kicked up, almost like a donkey kick. And we're going to do like a circle movement of that. And we're going to be doing that on both sides. And while we're doing that, I didn't mention, but like our arms are going to be, one arm's going to be kind of like a resting arm. So we're going to have like our arm resting on the ground, and the other one is going to be kind of pressed. So we're going to have our other hand pressing up to kind of keep us upright to do this movement. And we're doing that on both sides. After we do this, we're going to go back into child's pose. And then from there, we're going to then transition over to a seated position. This is going to be one of our last positions we do. And in the seated position, we're going to then have like our legs stacked on top of each other. So instead of just being in the normal cross-legged position, we're going to have like our right leg lower, like on, like kind of like almost in that cross-legged position. But then we're going to have the left knee right directly above like where our right foot is at. So they're kind of stacked. And then once we do that, then we are going to bend down and kind of stretch that way. And then we're going to be doing that on both sides. And I believe that after that, that pretty much concludes what we're doing today when it comes to this Pilates practice. Hi, so that does conclude the practice for today. And how I'm going to rate that is a 10 out of 10. I needed that. I needed that so badly. So let me just give you let me paint a little small picture for you. So I actually took today off. This is, so this will be up at a different date, but this is actually Friday when I'm filming this. And I took Friday off to get the long holiday weekend started, because in the States, the United States is Labor Day, so on Monday. And so I wanted to get and that's like a national holiday, so like we're all off. So as a result, I was like, I'm taking Friday off too, and I've had a pretty rough work week to be completely transparent. It was very busy. It wasn't like dramatic, I don't know, when it comes to my work life, it usually is almost never dramatic, if you will, because I just don't really allow that in my life at all in general. I entertain it, but it's never there. But anyway, but the reason why it was just a rough work week. There's a lot going on. There's a project that I'm on that I feel like will never end. And it hasn't even started yet, like officially. So that's kind of telling. But so I've been dealing with that a lot, and yeah, I'm not gonna get too much into it because that's not why you're even here. Anyway, I say all that though to say this brought me back to life. You know how sometimes when you have a rough week, it just zaps the energy out of you? That's how I felt up until now. Even doing the supplements and everything that I'm doing, and even with the challenge I have going on, not the challenge, but the accountability series I have going on. That's actually kind of the other reason why I started that accountability series, because we need accountability, and that does include me. I want to get back to working out and doing what I was doing before. And it's been kind of a struggle sometimes. And when work is working, not in a good way, like when I have rough work weeks like I had, it makes it really challenging. So, but yeah, so this was exactly what I needed. I didn't know that this was going to give me what I needed. I didn't know this was going to feel like it was going to give me life, and it did. And the reason why I love all the core work that goes into Pilates. I had an idea that's what Pilates was about, but again, this was honestly my first time ever doing Pilates ever. I've never done Pilates. I've never been to a Pilates class. I've never tried Pilates to my knowledge at all. And so this was a nice intro. A lot of it felt like vinyasa yoga. So, and I love that. I guess I kind of knew this, but I didn't know how much, because again, never done before. I didn't know how much Pilates and yoga kind of go hand in hand. Like there's a lot of poses that are used in yoga for Pilates. So it didn't feel completely foreign. I didn't feel completely lost. Yes, there was parts that were challenging for me, but I kind of needed the challenge because I needed to get zapped with energy. And for me, sometimes a challenge is all I need for that to happen. And that was definitely mission accomplished. There was parts that were a little bit challenging, but I tried my best to do it. My form, I know definitely is not together because again, this is my first time ever doing this. So I know my form is not right. Especially one of the poses where she had us do the hover pose when we were hovering and then lifting our leg up. And the other thing that I found challenging was everything is kind of slow movement, kind of similar to yoga, but it's like power movement and it's very much controlled. You're not supposed to let gravity do it for you. It's all resistance, all core. So I have a feeling tomorrow my core is going to be on fire, which I love when my core is on fire because I know I did something right. So I'm very happy about it and I loved it. And it honestly is motivating me to review more of her work with Pilates. And I want to do more of her stuff related to Pilates now. I was too intimidated to do it before. And it also kind of helped me understand her channel more. So her channel has a lot of yoga on it too, but it's mainly vinyasa yoga. But that actually makes sense because, as I just mentioned, this practice reminded me a lot of like what you do in vinyasa. And so it seems like they go hand in hand. The only thing that she mentioned that I could have had that I didn't have, particularly when we were doing this movement, instead of just having my hands, I could have had some free weights. And I wish I would have known that at the beginning of the practice because I would have, brought that in. But honestly, I didn't know what to expect. So I wasn't going to try to put weights in for something that I don't know what's happening next afterwards, if like I'm going to be dead afterwards or not. But if I ever go back to doing this again, because just FYI, a lot of times if I really, really like the practice, I give it a 10. 9 times out of 10, I went back and did that practice again on my own without filming it because you don't need to see me do it again. But I'll do it on my own because it means I like it that much that I'll just keep repeating it because I like what it did for me. So that's kind of what I wanted to say with where the rating comes from also. It's also a chance I'll do it again. A 7, it means if it happens, if I can't find anything else, I might do it again on my own. Like when I'm on vacation and I don't have a gym or anywhere else I can go to work out, I might do it again, but it's kind of more of like a probably not. When I do it, when it's at a 7, I really should change my rating from a 1 out of 10 to like 7 out of 10, because I don't know, nothing. I don't think I'm ever going to get to the point where I will rate something below like a 5. I think that's rude, and I'm just not going to do that. If I don't like it, I probably just won't. I'll just skip over the. Let's say this. So if I don't enjoy something, I'm going to say it's not for me, and I'm going to skip the ratings. That will tell you that I thought it was that was 5 or less. Okay? I think that's what we're going to do when it comes to ratings moving forward. And I don't think, I've never had to say that before because I've never had to do it. But now that I'm speaking it, a time is going to come where I do something that I'm not going to like to practice at all. And I'm not going to scrap the whole video. I'm going to be fully transparent about it. And then I'll tell you that this is my opinion and my opinion only, and still recommend you do it yourself to see how you feel about it. Because again, everyone's taste is different, right? Right. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling, but I just wanted to say that this is longer because it was great. It was everything I wanted and more. And I didn't even know I wanted it. That's the funny thing. I kind of was just thinking, okay, I need to do something because I've been procrastinating all morning. I woke up at 7:30 and it is now 12 o'clock. And, oh, I forgot to stop my watch. Oh, I was gonna say I've been doing yoga for 28 minutes. I have not. But anyway, so yeah, I've been procrastinating all morning. So I kind of needed something to make me do something. And so I was like, well, you know what? Let's film some content. Let's make it where you're doubly productive, because that way you have you're doing something, but you're also filming content that you could post later on. Because I'm thinking about the weekend and thinking, where can I put this in and all that good stuff? Because I have my deal that I do on Saturdays coming tomorrow. So I will probably not be filming anything tomorrow, or if I do, I'm not gonna have time to edit it until like another day. So that's kind of a little method to the madness, a little bit more of a method to the madness of why today I was just kind of like, and then when I did this, it was great. It was great. It was great. So I'm gonna put her information in the description like I always do, because I always love and will always give a credit to the original person whose routine it is, that I'm just trying to replicate and see if I can do it and see how I feel about it before I review it. But yeah, go to her channel, check it out. That video was posted probably about less than a week ago. It's not that old. It's fairly new and it's easy. She has another Pilates video that she's going to be posting fairly soon afterwards. It's on her upcoming tab. I didn't see the date for it though, but definitely check her out. She's doing really, really good work. She also has, I believe, a yoga studio, yoga/Pilates studio that she actually practices out of. That is hers. So she is a business owner. Support it. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and I will see you next time. Bye.